The universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old. You, on the other hand, will be lucky to hit 80 before your knees give out and you start forgetting where you put your keys. Statistics are a cruel mistress, but they offer a perspective that your ego isn't quite ready for. Your entire existence is a rounding error. You are a biological fluke that occurred because a specific chain of monkeys decided to stop throwing rocks and start worrying about their personal brand. We spend our lives in a state of high alert, sweating over legacy and impact. We treat our lives like a high-stakes job interview for a position that doesn't exist, held by an interviewer who hasn't been born yet. We are terrified of being forgotten, as if the heat death of the universe, the literal cooling of the cosmic engine, is going to make an exception for your LinkedIn profile or that one clever tweet you posted in 2024. But I'm here to tell you that being completely, utterly insignificant is actually the greatest luxury you'll ever be gifted. Think about it. If the universe doesn't care about you, it means you can't fail. You can't ruin your life, because your life is a 30-second intermission in a play that's been running for eons. You aren't the protagonist of a tragedy. You're a background extra in a comedy that no one is watching. It's not depressing. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card for your soul. My name is Marcus, and today we're going to stop trying to leave a mark on a world that is made of water and start enjoying the fact that we're all just very complex puddles. Humanity has a very expensive obsession with legacy. It's our collective midlife crisis. We build monuments that eventually become bird perches. We name airports after politicians who were mostly famous for being good at staying in rooms until everyone else got tired. And we write memoirs as if we're trying to leave a breadcrumb trail back to our own existence. It's adorable, really. It's the architectural equivalent of a toddler drawing a stick figure on a wall and shouting, "Look at me," while the house is slowly being reclaimed by the forest. We are taught that being forgotten is the ultimate failure, the second death. But have you actually looked at the people we do remember? The names in the history books aren't there because they were happy. They're there because they were loud, or violent, or tragic. We remember Caesar because he was stabbed 23 times by his friends. We remember Van Gogh because he was so overwhelmed by the color yellow that he cut his ear off and died broke. We remember Napoleon because he had a complex that forced half of Europe into a meat grinder. Is that the goal? To have your face on a coin 2 centuries after you've stopped breathing? Being remembered isn't a reward. It's just a way for the living to use your corpse as a prop for their own stories. You won't be there to enjoy the bronze statues of your likeness. You won't be at the funeral to hear the nice things people say about your legendary work ethic, which, let's be honest, was mostly just you being too anxious to take a vacation. You'll be dead, and being dead is the ultimate do not disturb sign. The legacy trap is the belief that your life only matters if it survives you. It's like refusing to enjoy a delicious meal because you can't take a photo of it that will last for 1,000 years. It's like refusing to watch a sunset because it's going to be dark in 20 minutes. It's an absurd way to live. True elegance is realizing that the steam doesn't need to become a cloud to be beautiful. It just needs to rise. It exists for the sake of existing, not for the sake of becoming weather. When you stop worrying about how you'll be remembered by people who won't even be able to remember their own passwords in 50 years, you finally have the energy to actually be here. You stop performing for a future audience that doesn't exist and start living for a present audience of one. You, and let's be honest, you're a much better critic anyway. You know exactly when you're faking it. We treat our identity like a piece of high-end real estate. We spend decades decorating it with degrees, curated traumas, and a very specific taste in mid-century modern furniture, and then we stand in the doorway with a metaphorical shotgun, ready to defend it against anyone who suggests we might be, well, wrong. But have you ever tried to actually find the you that lives inside your head? If you peel back the layers of your personality, you don't find a core. You don't find a glowing soul or a fixed center. You find a collection of hand-me-down opinions you stole from a teacher in the 3rd grade. Childhood defense mechanisms you never outgrew, and whatever the last 3 people you talked to convinced you was important. You are a biological mosaic made of stolen pieces. You are a remix of everyone you've ever met, every book you've skimmed, and every algorithm that has whispered in your ear. The self isn't a solid object. It's a habit. It's a story your brain tells itself to explain why it keeps waking up in the same body with the same bills to pay every morning. We aren't individuals so much as we are temporary weather patterns occurring in a meat suit. And there is a devastating, sarcastic beauty in that. When you realize that your personality is just a long-running improv show that you never bothered to write a script for, the pressure disappears. You don't have to discover who you are because there is nothing to find. You can just be. You can be a masterpiece at 2 p.m. and a total catastrophe by 4 p.m., and the universe won't even check its watch. The stars aren't judging your lack of consistency. We spend so much energy trying to be someone because we're terrified that no one is the default setting. We think no one is synonymous with empty, but no one is where the peace is. A ghost doesn't have a reputation to protect. A ghost doesn't have to worry about its 5-year plan or whether it's living up to its potential. You aren't a statue under construction, chipping away at the marble to find the true version of yourself. You're just the wind blowing through a very complicated set of chimes. The chimes don't own the music. The wind doesn't own the chimes. It's just happening. Stop worrying about the melody and just enjoy the breeze. So what do you do with this information? Now that you know you're a temporary glitch in a cold vacuum, do you go home and stare at a wall? You could, but walls are boring, and the vacuum doesn't care if you're productive. The exit strategy from existential dread isn't to find meaning. Meaning is a heavy word. It sounds like work. It's another job you have to do, another thing to carry around and explain to people at cocktail parties when they ask you what you do. The real strategy is to embrace the sublime uselessness of it all. Modern society has a pathological fear of uselessness. We feel guilty if we aren't optimizing our hobbies or monetizing our downtime. We have turned existence into an efficiency contest. But if the universe is a comedy with no audience, you might as well enjoy the performance. You are the only creature in the known galaxy that can appreciate the absurdity of a sunrise and the ridiculousness of a tax return at the same time. You can understand the complex physics of a falling leaf and still be annoyed that it landed in your coffee. You are a biological luxury. You are a way for the universe to look at itself and say, well, this is weird. True intellectual sovereignty is the ability to look at the void, the big, terrifying nothing, and realize it's actually a blank canvas. You don't have to paint a masterpiece. You don't have to paint anything that makes sense. You can just doodle. You can live a life that is completely, beautifully, and utterly inconsequential. Eat the expensive chocolate today, because tomorrow you might be hit by a bus, and the bus doesn't care about your diet. Write the book that no one will read, because the act of writing it is the point, not the reviews on Amazon. Fall in love with someone who will eventually forget your name, because the feeling of falling is better than the safety of standing still. Do it all with a deadpan smirk, knowing that the stakes are non-existent. The world will tell you that you are a failure if you don't leave a mark. But remember, only a wounded animal leaves a trail. A healthy one moves through the forest and leaves it exactly as they found it. It enjoys the shade, eats the berries, and disappears without a trace. Be the healthy animal. Move through your 80 years like a guest at a party you didn't ask to be invited to, but decided to stay at because the snacks were decent, and the music was just weird enough to be interesting. Don't worry about the host. Don't worry about the cleanup. Don't worry about whether you'll be invited back. You won't be. Just enjoy the music before the lights go out. My name is Marcus, and if you've been listening, I hope you feel a little lighter, not because you've found the answer, there isn't one, but because you've finally stopped asking the wrong questions. Go be a ghost. It's much less stressful than being a person. Let's sit with that for a moment. The silence between the stars. We are so used to noise. We think that if the noise stops, we cease to exist. We think that if we aren't constantly vibrating with ambition or anxiety, we are somehow wasting the miracle of life. But what is a miracle if not something that simply is? A star doesn't try to be bright. It just burns. A flower doesn't try to be fragrant. It just blooms. Only humans have the unique, somewhat pathetic capacity to be embarrassed by their own nature, We are the only animals that try to be something other than what we are. You are a puddle. You are a temporary collection of atoms that has come together to experience the sensation of cold, wind, and warm coffee. Eventually, you will evaporate. You will return to the sky, and then the earth, and then the sea. You aren't going anywhere, you're just changing form. There is no final exam at the end of life. There is no tally of how many people liked you, or how much money you kept in a digital ledger. There is only the quality of your attention in this singular, unrepeatable moment. If you can find the beauty in a cracked sidewalk, or the humor in your own inevitable obsolescence, you have already won. You have hacked the system. You have looked at the void and found a reason to smile. And that is the only legacy worth having. Not a name on a building, but the quiet, secret knowledge that for a brief, flickering second, you were here. You saw it all, and you realized that it was enough. Now go put your phone down and look at a tree, or don't. The tree doesn't care. And that, my friends, is the most beautiful thing about it.